Hello everyone, Tom Ray, e-learning and content developer for Fluke. Today we're going to be talking about Fluke Mobile December 2022 or Update 3.22. This is for X5. All right, first we're going to talk about the updates that are going to be made with this new version, and then I'm going to demonstrate them for you. The very first update is we do have now an updated UI or UX. As you can see in the photos here, this new update streamlines the app and gives it a more modern interface. It also gives you more space as the user for more data. And we have a new button at the bottom right called More, which will expand with the brand new menu. On top of that, we have a mine and all work orders list, which is located at the top right of the screen when you're at the work order table. This also enables us to look at all work orders very easily so that we can actually do work in work orders not assigned to us and even assign work to ourselves, which we're going to get into in just a moment. As I said before, we now have an Assign to Me functionality. A user can assign themselves to any work order that has an open status. This Assign to Me button will be displayed on any work order, again with the open status at the very top. Simply click the blue link and it will assign it to you. We also now have the ability to edit open work orders. So any user can look at any open work order and you can edit it. It's not necessary to have an assignment for the work order in order for you to edit this work order. Fluke Mobile is proud to introduce us to the electronic signature, which we can enable or disable from within X5. And as you know, with X5, the electronic signature can be enabled at the field level. So if there are any fields that you want to enable this with, what happens is on Fluke Mobile is you complete the work order. Then when you close the work order, it'll ask you for a password when you either complete or close the work order. And that password is in case any field that was inside of Fluke Mobile, if any of those fields required the electronic signature. We also have now the physical signature. When at the same time, when you're completing the work order or closing, there's a screen where you can complete this work order with your physical signature on your mobile device. We now have more functionality for our close work order rules, that closeout screen. Right now we have more fields that have been added there. We have fields that could be read-only. You could have them required or highlighted, and more field types are available now. The text field type, string, integer, HTML, foreign key, which is your drop-downs, a float field type, and also Boolean field type, which is your true and false fields. And this screen will be displayed when you are either completing or closing the work order. And the screens on complete can be different than the ones on close and vice versa. Now we have an incomplete procedures warning pop up. So if you are getting ready to close your work order, it is possible that this can show the user that they have not completed the work procedures. And we have new languages supported: Swedish, Norwegian, Romanian, Latvian, Slovenian, Hungarian, Vietnamese, and Arabic. The list on the screen right now shows you all of the current supported languages. And these are accessed when you first open the app and you click in Settings. This is where we can find the language support. And now we have also the option to display the location details on the Add Parts Charge screen. So from your work order, when you're adding your part charges, you can hit the drop down for location and it will show you not only the locations that you have available, but also the on-hand amount at each location, which is very helpful. And you can also set your very own default view for search. So at the work order list view, when you click all, you could choose to see only perhaps emergency work orders as a default view, or maybe just correctives. And I will demonstrate that in a few moments. We have also increased the file size for uploading documents up to 20 megabytes. This applies to all files that users are uploading from your mobile devices. And now, on the Select Part screen, image is the standard field on the Select Part screen. So all of your images can show up on that Select Part screen to make life a little easier for you. And finally, we have a feedback auto email response here for you. If you do have any response for feedback, we have this automatic email that will be sent out to you, letting you know that we received your feedback and that we're going to take a good look at your feedback. Okay, let's get started with the brand new updated UI. As you can see, Fluke Mobile looks quite a bit different now as before. First of all, I am on the work order entity level. You can see now I have the mine, which shows all of my currently assigned work orders. And I also have the new one, all, which shows work orders that maybe are not assigned to me. And if it's not assigned to me and it's open, I could take ownership of it. Or if it's not assigned to me and it's open, I could edit it, which I could not do before. Down here, we have our assets, which is very similar as before. But we do have this new default view that we can use. And we have work requests, which again is very similar as it was before. But now we have a brand new button down here called More. The little green checkbox here, this tells us that all events have been queued up. If there was a number here, that would be how many number of events are waiting to be queued up in case you got off of Wi-Fi or cellular. If there was an exclamation point here, that would be showing you that there's an event currently holding up everything in the queue. Maybe some type of error. If I click More, you can see I can go back to Work Orders, Assets. I can click here to get more information, to show me the current version and where I'm at as far as the site. I can still do the help guide just as before. It'll open it in a brand new tab. And I can click Event Status to see any of those events that might be giving me some problems. Very similar to before, but the UI just simply improved it a little bit. Next, let's jump into that mine and all work order list a little bit more in detail. So we're going to go to the work order entity. And mine, again, these are all work orders assigned to me. All these are my work orders. I can do anything with them just like I could before. But now I have the option to go to all work orders here. And if there's something that's open, so let me go ahead and click search here. Do we have any open ones right now? Looks like we may have some. Let me click on this one. This one has no assignment, so I can click the Assign to Me button. And this work order will now become mine. And there it is. I have options to start it if I want to, or I can go back to the other work orders. Now, the other feature we had was the ability to go into a work order that was not assigned to me and make edits to it. So let's jump into X5 real quick here, and let's try to find a work order number that I can jump into and make an edit to. One that's not assigned to me. So these assignments are all mine. Let's grab one. This one's not assigned to me. It is assigned to Alexander, and it is number 385. Let's see if I can find 385 here. And search for it. Here's 385. Again, this one is assigned currently to Alexander. I can now go into this and make changes if I want to and save those changes. I don't have to assign it to myself to do that. We're going to go back. Now, one thing that's kind of cool here is we now have this default view button that we can tick here. So for example, what if I wanted my default view to just be corrective work orders? I could do that. If I click here and say corrective and default view and search, Then from now on, anytime I look for a work order, it's only going to show me corrective work orders. Let's demonstrate that. I'm going to go back and show you. So I'm going to click maybe mine. Then I'm going to click all again. And look, you see the work order type corrective? This will be the default screen from now on, unless I change it. Now, how do you change it back? Well, you change it back by clicking the edit button here. And then you could uncheck the default view. This could also be done at the asset level as well for whatever you may want to have as your default asset view. Before we get into talking about the electronic signature and physical signature, I want to remind you that both of these features are only enabled in Fluke Mobile at the completing or closing of the work order. So now that we know that, let's get started. Let's take a look at the brand new closeout information we can put with the e-signature and the physical signature. So let's click on complete, and we're going to click closeout. Now, as you see here, these are the fields we currently have now available to use on closeout. I have a technician employee comment field, which could be required. I'm just going to say hello. You have a downtime field, which is required. A text entry field. This one is a text type field where you can type in like a paragraph. A string type field allows for a small, maybe a couple of sentences. An integer type field, which is only numbers. An HTML field, which lets you do the bold, italics, and underline. You can also have undo and redo capabilities. A foreign key, which would look at a drop down that you have somewhere created already. This one doesn't work because I haven't specified any drop downs for this specific field, but I just want to show you that it can happen. You have another float field type where you could do other integers with fractions. And you have a true false field where you could make a true false statement here at the very end. So those are the new types of closeout fields you can put on the work order. I'm going to click the right arrow. This is for the physical signature. Again, I am using a mouse, so it's going to make my life a little bit different than yours. And then here's the password for the electronic signature, because one of those fields that I did earlier required an electronic signature. When I click the right arrow here, it's going to close out the work order. So again, that's how quick and easy it is to do that. Let's demonstrate the next feature of image is the standard field on the select part screen. So I'm in work order number 391. If I click the plus button to add a part charge, I'm going to uncheck asset parts only and click search. You will see that by default, the very top should show an image if you have supplied an image file for that part. So this is very helpful to quickly look at your photos of all of your parts, and that will be displayed right here in the parts lookup as you're looking for that part. Also, to piggyback that, we have another feature that's related to parts as well, which is the ability to see location details on the add part charge screen. As you can see on this part, it says store room, 1 bin 1A, and on hand we have 3. Now you would also see information for as many part locations as you have here, as well as the on hand amounts for that location. That is another new feature that we have added to Fluke Mobile. And finally, the last thing we have is the auto email response for feedback. So if for some reason you would like to add some feedback to Fluke Mobile, you can do so at the More, Information, and Send Feedback. If you send us some feedback, let's say it is an improvement or issue, what would happen is when I click this Send button, it's going to automatically send me a response to my email letting me know that Fluke has received this response and they're going to look at it and get back to me. Okay? And we do have some other improvements security updates, bug fixes, and performance enhancements completed as part of this release. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the overview for our Fluke Mobile release for Emaint X5 version 3.22, December 1 of 2022. We have had a lot of updates in today's rollout, such as the updated UI, the new work order list, the assign to me functionality. We can now edit open work orders, our electronic signature with physical signature, the new complete close work order rules, and those new fields we can add at the close of work order. We can now take care of incomplete procedures with a warning pop-up, additional language support, display location details on the add part charge screen, and a default view for the search. Plus, more size for our documents. Image is the standard field on the select part screen, and we have our new feedback response. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you on the next one.